The Ferelden Heartland. It's a brave new world, Dorian Parvis. Does the cold not bother any of you, truly? Odd that the Fereldans would invite the rebel mages into their country. They had to know it would bring the fighting here. The Mage Rebellion has turned this place upside down, hasn't it? I camped in these hills for 2 weeks when I got here. Me. Camping.
These people need help. These are the Templars who liked hurting mages too much. Why did they come here? It's not safer. Hungry, cold, thirsty, tired, too much, all of them. I want to do more.
Mages and Templars fighting everywhere. Great job, Blondie. There's too many refugees out here. Reminds me of Kirkwall during the Blight. What made the mages come here of all places? Does anybody else smell that? Seriously, just me? I really am in the ass end of nowhere now.
Mages and Templars. Mages and Templars. Rebel mages really screwed this place up good, huh? Hopefully the Inquisition can take care of these people. Anyone who'd come after these refugees needs a good killing. This place has more magic than usual. Whole place is full of it.
Redcliffe has seen more than its share of troubles. That the rebellion should play out here. It can't properly be called a war any longer. It's a free-for-all. Mages against Templars against everyone.
The mages here learned how to hit back, but not how to stop.
It seems the Ferelden army has chosen to stay clear, for now. The people here should leave the area. It's too dangerous.
And go where?
This is their home, Seeker.
Stay alert. The chaos has made this part of Ferelden more dangerous than ever before.
You know there was a blight here, right?
All right, yes. Except during the Blight.
I suppose there's worse places. That's why people stop here, yeah? Hills and not much else. Demons, I suppose. More hills. Yay! I've been here before. Then I left. The Vale is girlish here.
The mages and the Templars chose a poor location for working out their differences. Bandits, demons, mages, and Templars. The refugees are in dire need of help. Such an irresponsible use of magic. The mages here are little more than animals. A beautiful area to have seen so much sadness. It is good to see the Inquisition helping the refugees. It seems no one else will.
The mage conflict has been hard on the people here. I've always liked Ferelden. It's a straightforward sort of place. If you ever go to Redcliffe's Tavern, don't eat the cheese. Just don't. I try to do what I can here, but with the Inquisition I can do more. Hundreds of people have had their homes destroyed by the demons.
The fighting has been heaviest here. So many people dispossessed. Another generation that learns to live in fear of magic. Not a sign of civilization anywhere to be seen. I'm going to need a long bath to get the Ferelden stink off. The entire country reeks of wet dog. How charming.
Mountains, cold. Let's bring Dorian. Treacherous ground here. I'm picturing myself bumping all the way down a mountain. At least the walk back will be easier than the walk up. Not the most idyllic mountainside, is it? Reminds me of the high reaches, but with more snow.
I like the mountains. They're quiet. How do they get so big? Everything is cold. The air smells like rocks. A rock could roll for a long time here.
Anybody else vote that we never come here again? Why does air even come in different temperatures? Great place to get crapped on by a bird. I will never understand why anyone would make ground vertical. If we freeze to death and get eaten by wolves, I'm blaming the Seeker.
Nippy. I always liked mountains. They let you know where you stand. Far away from everything here. Crazy to think that the war can reach even up here. Keep watch. Anything that can survive here has earned it.
Terrible what has been done to this place. Be wary. These mountains are the perfect place for an ambush. These mountains are beautiful in their way. They remind me of the Vemarks. Watch your footing. There's a lot of ice and snow. In this weather, I'm glad for my armor.
Stupid cold. You know what's not cold? Cities. Highlands. Lands up high. Where are we again? So I don't come back? The Vale is fat here. Let's do what needs doing, get out of here.
There is a stark beauty to this area. This reminds me of Skyhold. Those who live here must depend on themselves. Quite a chill in the air. This place has seen fewer spirits than most.
Colder than I expected. Pretty, but frigid. Reminds me of someone I used to know. Watch your step. Ice everywhere. How did an entire river get frozen over? What I wouldn't give for some warm, spiced wine.
Why are we here again, exactly? This weather is not ideal for travel in the mountains, my dear. Watch your step, darling. I shall be happy to return to civilization again. I should have worn my fur coat.
Finally, some humidity. Bloody waking sea. Never been more sick than when I crossed that. Of course, it might have been the bottle of grappa I was nursing. The sea and I don't mix well. Footing's rather slick around here. The Storm Coast? You southerners think of cheery names for these places, don't you?
So much water. Where does it go? It's very wet. It's quiet. I thought there would be more storms. I wonder if I can swim.
Our coastline's always named for melodrama. The Storm Coast, the Wounded Coast, the Morose Coast. It's just water. Have you ever seen a moldy dwarf? You're about to. Did I ever mention that I can't swim? You know what would be great right about now? Being indoors. I've got a friend who's a ship captain. She would love this place.
Reminds me of Saharan, only colder. Damp just gets in everywhere, doesn't it? Gotta be fun getting a campfire going in this. Not as many ships as I expected. Popular spot with smugglers, I expect.
They call it the Waking Sea because it's said that here the Maker's wrath was awakened. This region is known for its pirate coves. Be on the lookout. The damp cuts right through your armor, doesn't it? Surprising that there are no ships. This time of year there should be plenty.
I don't go on boats. Not with lunch. The Vale. She is salty here. The air is nice. What? It is. I smell seaweed. How do I know seaweed?
I spent little time on the sea in my travels. The dreams are never worth the effort. I wonder what lies sunken beneath those waves. I expected more merchant ships. Recent events must have put a hold on trading. This area must be rife with smugglers. I expect the rifts will only worsen the storms that gave this place its name.
Ah, cold, salt air. 100 wrecked ships lie beneath these waters. It isn't called the Storm Coast for nothing. An old salt now, that is what I am, as I sail these stormy waters. Ever heard of the pale ship that appears on the mists? The Windy Marcher, I think that's what they call it.
It smells a bit of dead fish, don't you think, my dear? What an excellent place to be murdered and left in a dank hole. My darling Bastien has a house on the coast. Not this one, of course. A decent one. Well, this outfit is ruined. I'll have to get it replaced. I suppose it could be worse. We could be in Ferelden.
So, this is the heart of mighty Orlais. Such garish colours. And where are the ruins? Minrathous is full of ruins. At least we're in a city. I'm tempted to find a tavern. Perhaps all of them. So many masks. What a bizarre custom. It's not as austere as Tevinter cities. Not nearly as many dragon statues. We need to find some proper wine while we're here. I'm rather desperate.
So many people. Everyone is very bright. They have so much. Why aren't they happy? So much wishing and wasting and wanting. I wonder if they have hats.
Welcome to the gold leaf capital of the world. When your golden Andraste statue has a flourish that looks like a smaller Andraste statue, that's how you know you're in Orlais. I always imagine Orzammar is just like this, only dank. I'm probably way off on that. I wonder if we can find a tavern around here. Why do so many Orlesian noblewomen carry little nugs in their purses with snacks?
Ah, Val Royeaux. Fancier and less useful every time I see it. Gotta remember to keep flexing, impress the locals. Doesn't look like those people have seen a lot of demons. At least the food's gonna be good. Gotta admit, it stings a little to bust my ass knowing these fops aren't doing shit.
I loathe coming here. I'm tempted to show you the Grand Cathedral, perhaps next time. All these nobles, so busy climbing over each other, do they not care what's out there? To these people, anything beyond Val Royeaux is utterly irrelevant. The beating heart of Orlais, you could wander the streets for days and never see the same thing twice.
Why ever leave? The capital's full of targets. Quick tour, shits and tits, and we're done. A city to play with. Can't get better. So much better than Woods or whatever. The Vale is puking ruffles here.
Some things never change. They attempt to outdo one another with their fashions, like great birds showing their plumage. It seems the war is felt less keenly here than elsewhere. The merchants have goods from across the known world. I understand one can get anything one desires in Val Royeaux, as long as it is in fashion.
Never liked the city. Too many people. Everyone's overdressed. Even the cakes are overdressed. Can't wait to get out of here. Was that woman wearing nugs on her head? Didn't like this place the last time I was here. Still don't.
Ah, civilization. I should check in on a few acquaintances while we're here. Did I just see gold chiffon? Oh, darling, that lace is far too much. It looks as though drop waists are going out of fashion. Finally.
Let me guess. The locals claim this place is haunted. Reminds me of the Donarchs, actually. Just much, much colder. Fields of mud. Ugh. What do they call this? A bog? Lovely word. The Vale's thin here. Demons seeping into every corpse and tree they can.
This is like the Fade, but wetter. The mud wants my feet to stay. It smells like growing. Leeches only take as much as they need. So many old songs under the water.
I have no idea why places like this exist. This shit is ruining my boots. What's that smell? Oh, on second thought, don't tell me. I don't want to know. And I thought Darktown was bad. Remind me never to come here again.
When we get back, I'm taking a long, hot bath. I hate fighting in mud. Put any muscle on a swing and you slide all over the place. Just remember, anything poking up from the water could be some horrible monster acting like a stick. This place smells like ass. I really want to kill something. That would make me feel a lot better about being here.
Stay on guard. This bog is infested with all manner of creatures. That stench, it's everywhere, isn't it? Who would choose to build a castle out here? Just imagine how this place gets at the height of summer. Be wary. The undead can attack at any time.
Bog. Bog. It even sounds rubbish. I hate this place. I just hate it. The Vale is arse here. Smells like. This is much better than a city, yeah? Because no, it's not. This is the worst nature yet.
The Vale is thin here.
The Vale's thin here.
There was a mighty kingdom here once. I have seen glimmers in my dreams. Stay alert. There are eyes upon us. Few things last long here. Mud and water bury forever what they cannot erode. We will want to launder our clothes later, or burn them.
Could this place be more damp? It's so wet, why haven't the dead rotted away? Well, this is all very pleasant. I'll be glad when we get out of here. What is that awful smell?
Well, that's a fascinating odour. You know, I believe I have a gown made of beetle wings from this bog. I should really get matching gloves made. Places like this often preserve corpses. A large wildfire would do wonders for this place. That's going to stain. Pity.
Is everywhere in Ferelden so moist? There's a lake like this one near my family's estates. Fewer demons. Quaint area. Fereldans live a bit like barbarians, don't they? Brrr. Now I see why they wear so much fur. Let's be watchful. I understand this country's full of dogs.
It's better when the bodies are burned. The spirits don't think they belong. The people in Crestwood need help. Demons don't like lakes. Water isn't different enough. They want to go home. That's why they take the bodies. They're afraid, but we can save them.
So this is Ferelden? No wonder everyone left it for Kirkwall. What is it with people who just wait for some sign of trouble to turn to banditry? Does it smell a lot like dogs here? Oh, what did I just step in? Without the demons everywhere, this place would be sort of quaint.
Lot of little villages like this, trying to keep going with demons everywhere. Easy to understand why people turn into bandits if the nobles don't protect you from crap like this. Be nice for the Inquisition to do some good here. Rather fight bandits than demons any day. A village like this once hired the Chargers to deal with some bandits. It was the early days, just me and Krem and 5 others. We must have killed 50 bandits. Asshole villagers tried to pay us in rice.
It's been many years since I came to this part of Ferelden. Rather damp for this time of year. I thought order was restored to Ferelden. To see such chaos even here. Don't relax your guard. Bandits have beset this area for many months. I understand the lake has been a source of local myths for centuries.
This part of Ferelden did all right. Not too blighted, right? I smell the damp. Just in everything. The Vale is Vaily here. Or something. We should drag the knobs in Val Royeaux out here, see how they do. Not so bad, yeah? Except maybe the bits that are.
The damage to the Vale affects all of southern Thedas. Perhaps even all the world. Rifts in the Vale imperil both this world and the Fade. The villagers are brave to stay and defend their homes. Ferelden has failed the villagers of Crestwood. They deserve better. Sometimes it seems this land is a collection of tragedies, one piled atop another.
Always liked lakes. Bet the fishing here was good. Before the blight and the Fade Rift, anyway. What is it with Ferelden and the undead? Didn't Redcliffe have the same problem? Lots of bandits in these parts. Can't blame them, I suppose. It's hard making a living these days. One thing about the Ferelden people. They're resilient. You'd almost have to be living here. This wet cold just seeps into your bones, doesn't it?
Ferelden. Delightful. Assisting these people will improve the Inquisition's reputation, my dear. The damage to the Vale is worse than I imagined. I see the Ferelden monarchy is as quick to act as ever. Maker, this place needs a good tailor. It's simply appalling. Just don't let them touch you with their grubby hands.
What a lovely forest. Kind of makes you want to retch, yes? I'm not made for the wilderness. I'm more taverns and big cities. Wild animals everywhere. Don't these people hunt? We're going to get lost and starve to death, aren't we? A glorious end for the Inquisition. Why emerald graves? What graves? Did they bury people here?
I like trees. Trees don't hurt people. The squirrels can see me. If you listen, you can hear it all reaching for the sun. I like how the sun goes through the leaves. This is better than war.
Ah, the wilds of Thedas. Lush, beautiful, and full of things that want to eat you. Huh. All this fresh air is making me lightheaded. Ugh, that's the 7th route I've tripped over in the last 10 minutes. They're doing it on purpose, I swear. So this is the Dales. Well, Daisy, wish you were here. I've heard that some people actually enjoy walking in the wilderness. They do it for fun. It's called hiking.
More trees. Woo. Careful with people trying to escape the war. You can't trust deserters. Far as I'm concerned, you can give this place back to the damn elves. Plenty of cover here for an ambush. Lot of good lumber here going to waste.
My ancestors hunted dragons here ages ago. Hard to picture what it was like then. Keep your wits about you. The Dales are treacherous. You know, out here, I almost feel like I could forget about the war. Almost. It's quiet. A little too quiet. The Dales have seen so much conflict, and yet they're still beautiful.
The Vale is bored of trees here, if it has any sense. Right, I can see why everyone fights over this. No, I can't. Trees are stupid. How many greens is that? I'm greened out. Woods. No, don't care.
These forests have changed much since I was last here. The Vale is thin here. Can you feel it? I wonder if there is a single place in the Dales that does not know a human footstep. I like being out in the forests. It's peaceful. These trees will most likely outlive us all.
This is a nice change from Skyhold. It's sad to see Corypheus corrupting a place like this. Did you see those trees? They're gigantic. Is it just me, or are the trees here watching us? I passed through the Emerald Graves once, 10 years ago. Nothing's changed in that time.
Someone should build a summer home here. The trees are actually quite lovely. A decent gardener could do wonders with this mess. That reminds me, I should order more venison for the Circle larder. Completely uncivilized. That would look fantastic mounted on a wall.
It figures that most of the fighting happened here and not in Orlais proper. Before the elves were given this land, I understand it was mostly forest. You can hardly tell. How many battles have been fought on these plains over the ages? I wonder how different this land looked back when the elves had it. Exalted Plains, named to honor the great victory of Orlais over the elves.
So much pain. It wore down the walls. Everyone hurts. Why did they have to fight? I don't understand war. Too many people hurting, harming, hacking open a hole for the demons to pour in.
This place has seen better days. Reminds me a little too much of Kirkwall. Man, I can't wait for Chuckles to say something about the Vale.
I don't always mention the Vale.
You do. You really do.
You think about it a lot.
Ooh, the Vale is sad here. Great battles, blah, blah, blah.
See, told ya. How much do you want to bet that rubble's in fashion in Orlais by next fall? What a mess.
This place saw some hard fighting. Seems like any land worth farming or fishing is worth fighting over. Lots of sloppy fighting here. People get tired, they fight hard, not smart. Do you think the Dalish would even want this place now? I avoid any job that could turn out like this.
After all the battles, this area is quite chaotic. We should be careful. Much of Gaspard and Celine's war has been fought here, you can tell. It's telling how quickly even the most peaceful area can descend into chaos. Almost every Orlesian noble keeps a winter home in the Dales. It's a mark of status. It's a pretty enough area, but still dangerous.
Looks like lots of fighting for stupid reasons. The Vale is limp here. Lots of dead for some knob's war. Ugh, the Dalish want this, why? This place is worth fighting over. Not seeing it.
The Exalted Plains have been soaked in too much unexalted blood. When this is over, the nobles will still expect the peasants to send in the harvest. Great battles thin the veil. This area will be home to demons for ages to come. This was a beautiful land once. What a waste. The Dalish remember fragments of fragments, but that is more than most.
Peaceful here, apart from all the destruction. I wonder if the elves will ever find a home. There's not much here, is there? Perhaps that's why it was given to the elves. Says a lot about the ones doing the giving. I was always told to avoid the Dales. Something about Dalish curses. Not that I'm superstitious. I wonder what this all looked like before the war.
The cost of this war is staggering. I wonder if it will ever be what it was before. It used to be beautiful here. I'm so glad Bastien sold his chateau here in favor of the house near the capital. Dreadful. Simply dreadful.
So this is where the Second Blight began. 700 years later, and it still hasn't recovered. They say the abyssal rift goes all the way down to the deep roads. I'm tempted to throw something down there to test it out. The wind is a bit sandy, isn't it? They say the silent plains are corrupted like this. Never been. I thought deserts were supposed to be hot.
It's thin here. Spirits were here even without rifts. I don't like it here. Adamant is here. The Darkspawn are beneath us. A long way, but still singing. The sand wants to stay with me. It's easier to forget here.
More of our enemies need to spend time in taverns. I'm just saying. Arid and blighted, and the sky is trying to kill us. Lovely. Why would anybody come here? Come to think of it, why did we? More desert. Just what I wanted. You know what I love about this place? Pretty much nothing.
Friendly place. This is a dry heat. No good at all. Gotta respect anything that survives out here. Can't imagine anyone coming out here without a good reason. The sand just scours the moisture right out of you, doesn't it?
Travel far enough south, you reach the Gamodan peaks and then the Sunded Sea. Not a popular route. Sometimes the sandstorms last for days, the wind blasting the flesh from your bones. Orlais claims this land, but that's just lines on a map. Truly, this desert belongs to no one. This is possibly the most hostile terrain in all Thedas. Blasted sand. It's everywhere and gets in everything.
I have sand. Places. The Vale has grit in its breaches here. Feels dry. Yes, I know. Desert. Must be important for anyone to come here. Where wandered wastes we walked with woes. Or something.
This was home to empires and great rituals, until it all fell. The Vale is weaker here. Odd that we have not seen more rifts. Only the hardiest creatures survive in this land. I travelled here once. I nearly died from lack of water. This is when I appreciate learning the magic to prevent sunburn on a bald head.
Next sandstorm we see, I'm naming it Gerard. Feels like the sand in my lungs. I can't imagine what it must have been like for the wardens who stood guard on the edge of this desolation. Bleak.
My skin is starting to crack, darling. Hurry it up, would you? What a dreadful place. No respectable people would come out here. No wonder the Grey Wardens took up residence. Well, blighted sand. How novel. Watch yourself, my dear. You can become parched easily, even in the cold.
Lively for a wasteland, I'll give it that. It's freezing. Why is a desert freezing? Dwarven ruins on the surface. That must be a year's worth of arguments for the scholars. I think I'm drying out from the inside. At least Corypheus's followers are suffering with us.
The sky's so big. The stones are holding on to old hurts. The good things are far away. It's so cold. Why isn't there snow? Something bit me. There's sand in my shoes again.
Someone remembered to bring water, right? I'll give it this much. There's a view everywhere you look. Huh, I thought there'd be more insects. People used to live out here? Really?
You know, I think I like it here. Smell that smoke? People lighting campfires somewhere. Look at how far it goes. You could ride for miles. Sure, it's cold, but at least it's a dry cold. Lot of people hanging out here for a wasteland.
It is bitterly cold, but I've never seen a clearer night. How old do you imagine these ruins are? I will never get the dust from my throat. Be wary. Many predators come out at night. This would be a good place for someone to hide, if they could survive the climate.
Sand is dirt that's bad at it. The Vale is bored here. I'm dry. Someone build a tavern. A cold desert? What? So many stars. They go past forever.
A forest used to tower here, until sand ate away the roots. A strange mix of creatures. Some of the animals must have arrived with the old dwarves. Half-remembered ruins. Fate of all cities, eventually. Excuse me. The air strips the throat.
Bloody sand. Getting in places where sand shouldn't ever be. Does the wind ever stop blowing? I forgot how far you can see in the desert.
What a fruitful adventure travelling this endless ocean of sand has been. Have we spent enough time here yet, my dear? So much sand in the wind. My skin will never be the same.
Poor Vivi can't glare the sand out of her fanny.
Civilization holds more pressing matters than this.
I read somewhere you can sink into sand. Just whoop, down you go. In ancient Tevinter, they called this place Vina Herdalis. It means the downy hairs upon your arse.
Really? Who named it that?
Someone who liked staring at arses. You know how magisters are.
You'd think it would be the itchy sand down your trousers.
I suppose the ancients weren't all that clever.
It does not mean that.
True, but look around. It couldn't mean something much better. Do they have sandworms here? Giant sandworms? No?
I like the ladders. Digging and delving like dwarves. Do they hear the old song, too? It wants us to stay away.
Yes, it's very outdoorsy. Can we go home now? I really can't wait to not be here. We're done here, right?
Why would you keep mining with that weird feeling all over you all day? Nothing creepy about a bunch of old abandoned caves. Nothing creepy at all. When Konari finish with a mine, they seal it and take the scaffolding. It's neater.
Odd that the shards would lead us here. Who knows what dangers could lurk in the sands? Many old mines in this region. Most are likely near collapse.
The Vale is blah blah whatever here. This place makes my hair tingle. I don't hate that.
I hope they found whatever they were digging for. The Vale is strange here, as if it were reinforced, but for a few places where it has been warped. You could work here a year and never see anyone except your fellow miners.
You know, one thing about abandoned mines, the tunnels deteriorate, then collapse. And if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, this sand just gets everywhere, doesn't it? Eerily quiet here.
There's something strange about this place. Shall we go, my dear? This is a good place to be ambushed.